Hey, good morning, Al. How are you?
I'm fine, Count. How are you?
I'm
Morning.
doing well. So it's already the 2nd of Jan in India. Huh?
Yeah.
So today is the day Shane Warne made his debut
Oh, I didn't know that.
30, 30 years back,
Mm,
the Sydney Test.
mm,
So the three Test matches were played with Benson Hedges tournament. You know, first Test match was played. Some part of Benson Hedges tournament was played when India, England, and Australia played together. And then the Boxing Day Test match and the Sydney Test match on the second. So this is a Test match.
mm,
We lost the series 2-0. So this is a Test
mm,
match. Obviously, Sydney is a track
mm,
which is where we are comfortable, and that's
mm,
where they play the extra spinner. That's how Shane Warne came in.
mm.
And this is a Test match. Ravi Shastri scored a double century
Yeah. Mm,
and also picked up 4 wickets. So again, the reason I'm talking about this test match is also, how much of weather, depending on where you are in Australia, depends on
mm.
how hard the wickets are during the late part of the summer.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Sydney is pretty much cooler.
Mm,
It's in the Mediterranean bit like San Francisco.
mm,
A lot of cool air in Sydney, which I'm guessing will keep the pitch very spongy.
mm,
And when it bounces, it kind of comes on a track where you can go on the back foot, play
mm,
one of those mid wicket flicks, or you can pick the side of the
mm,
ground and you can play a shot as you like. That's how Sachin could only play on onside, right?
mm,
He had so much of time to play on onside, because it's
mm,
Sydney.
mm, mm.
Because
Yeah.
it's and that's where Hobart is, and Hobart is at a at a latitude much lower,
Mm,
almost near Australia because it's
mm,
Tasmania's island.
mm,
And during this part of summer, this is their peak summer, right? That's
mm,
why
mm, mm.
David Warner was sweltering, scoring his double hundred in Melbourne.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is when the pitches are hard,
Mm,
especially in Perth, Brisbane,
mm,
the
mm,
northern part of the countries where it's much hotter, Cairns.
mm, mm.
So I'm guessing maybe the hardening pitches could explain the big scores in Brisbane yesterday because it was such a true wicket. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
Colin
Yeah.
Munro to keep going for the shot straight away, so you should have been
Mm,
so confident.
mm.
And also, Washish did not start really well, right? He
Yeah.
was
Mm,
bowling more leg side.
yeah.
But
Maxwell
what?
was
Yeah,
Maxwell was on commentary box. He's saying that when Brisbane managed to get their pitch right, there is no better deck in the world, and it was that. It was
yeah,
exactly that yesterday.
yeah. You can pitch, you hit through the line, and you can hit
Mm,
across the line,
mm,
right? Right,
mm,
right to the word go. That's what Monroe was doing.
yeah,
And that was a fantastic, game, a deck for somebody like Brown to get his debut game on.
yeah. It was a medium paced attack too. There was no real pace on the in the Sydney Sixers bowling attack as well. It's one dimensional, largely 135 kilometers per hour. It's easy for him as well.
Sorry, you're breaking out a bit. Yeah, you're back.
Okay. Mm, okay.
So yeah, so it was a innings of I mean the great media attention. He was not a player till his age of 24.
Mm,
Whatever has happened to him is in the last 18 months,
mm.
and he basically is a bat maker. He makes cricket bats.
Yeah. There was a lot of hype surrounding him even in the build up to the tournament. Apparently, he had played some practice matches for Brisbane Heat, and he pretty much smashed anyone who he came across. So this was kind of the build up. Even in the first match that he played, he just executed one good shot, and even in that there was a lot of promise. And that's why we had him in our preview as a right-handed attacking opener. That was very specific because of the build up and what we had seen of him.
Yeah. So you're breaking up a bit. Maybe my Wi-Fi isn't good. So what I'm trying to do is connect my hotspot and see if it gets better
Okay.
because you're breaking up a bit.
Okay.
So let me try that. So I may go off and come back in, but I'll just
Hmm.
sort it out. Give me a second.
Sure. I'm checking mine as well.
Yeah, this should be a better connection, hopefully, from now on.
Nice.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how Josh Brown bats in a deck which is much quicker. Like Thornton can just come through and rush him through. Whether he can still back standing deep, because he's done it yesterday, right, at Gaba, where true bounce. We know now he can smash. So whether he can do it on a wicket which is much slower, I don't know how good the Hobart track, the Bellerive track is going to be today. The deck, it's a 180 par score. I think there's not should not be any surprise today, given that
But
uh,
Brisbane Heat is not playing today now. Unless it's Hobart Hurricanes.
yeah, Hobart
So,
Hurricanes, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm.
So yeah, I'm talking about Hobart Hurricanes, right? They're playing in Hobart.
Okay.
So there I'm saying the weather on Hobart is much cooler, right? So the deck may not have become as hard as the summer progressed in as it could have become in Gaba or in Perth or in Melbourne, for example. And Sydney, we know even in January the deck still is very slow. The summer does
Yeah,
not do much to the deck
yeah.
like it does to Melbourne and Gaba and back then Vaca, now the new Optus Stadium. So, but down south in Sydney and much southern in Tasmania, the weather is much cooler. So that's going to keep the deck not. There'll not be a surprise like what Gaba was. We were talking about just nine
Okay.
sixers and match and so on. Down himself about 5 6 sixers, and we're not even starting to talk about the innings by McSweeney, which was like phenomenal.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yesterday's game was a high scoring game, and it was interesting that the chase kind of could have gone a bit more deeper if the middle order had held together. Moses Henrique did not really deliver.
Yeah, he was the key and he didn't deliver. That kind of had an impact on the entire innings.
Yeah, it's just the number four becomes such a critical factor in these big chases.
Even though, for example, Brisbane's number for Billings didn't make a big score, but he still made an impact on it. A 27 of 15 or 18, which was good
Yeah.
enough to keep the innings going.
So this is the deck I could see. Sky playing a number four. Playing himself to a 50 ball 100,
Yeah.
chasing a big score.
Yeah.
So it was a setup like that. So like let me share my screen and go on to the today's game between Hobart Hurricanes and so this is yesterday's game we just spoke about. I just close this. So yeah, so just looking at the points table before we go into the performance of the last game of these teams. Hobart Hurricanes have played the least number of games, but still at the bottom of the table.
Yeah, they've been up and down, and they had also lost Ben McDermott, and he's coming back today. So that's kind of going to make a big impact on them, even though he wasn't in form the first of the tournament, but he showed signs of coming back to form in the last game he played. So this is a bowling attack that suits him. If he could survive Rashid Khan, there could be a lot of runs in play for the right-handed opener.
Yeah, we'll talk about Rashid Khan in a moment. So Adelaide strikers have had a kind of even Steven tournament so far.
Mm.
or 3 wins, 3 losses.
Yeah,
But
I
both
think
the
it's.
teams lost their last games.
Mm. I think for Adelaide strikers, it's three straight wins and three straight losses. I guess it's in our sheet
Yeah,
today. It's like they're on either extremes. Yeah.
yeah. So important game for both the teams to turn around their fortunes in the new year.
Mm. It is. Yeah. They'll need to.
Yeah, just looking at the last game, the bowling performance of Hobart Hurricanes. Except Ellis finally came among wickets. Riley Meredith could do what he could do in the final over, but otherwise, overall, a very ordinary performance.
Yeah, I mean it was quite a solid bowling attack to take them out for 226. The way that Sydney Thunder did was even though it was a great wicket, it's still 20 runs at least to above par, and that kind of showed in the second innings as well, where Hobart was never really in the game to chase it down.
And Hales, doing one of
Mm,
those
mm,
hailstones.
yeah,
It's like
I
a
think by
hailstorm. It needs to be called an hailstorm.
I think Hobart Hurricanes were actually fortunate to see him get dismissed for 77 because when he's on a run like
Yeah,
that, he could be a lot more dangerous and it could have been a real big 100 for them, for Hales as well.
yeah. So he could have just been very destructive in the final. They were expecting they'll score about 240 plus.
Mm,
And the last over by Riley Meredith, he really contained and
mm,
picked up, I think, both his wickets in the last over.
mm. Yeah.
So again, Riley also, failing, to genuine pace of Riley Meredith. The reason he was not picked by any of
Mm,
the IPL franchisees.
mm. I think he was taken by Delhi Capitals at the last. They made it.
Finally,
Yeah, yeah. It was their last pick, I guess. They had missed out on. I think they were actually waiting for him. Their first target was Cameron Green, and they might have tried Nicholas Puranto, I guess. But since that two went out of their budget, Rosso was the only remaining option, and they sealed him at the last.
I don't know. The first I caught up was that he went unsold.
Hmm.
And I was only thinking it was very reflective of his recent BBL performances.
Hmm.
Maybe Indian wickets could be for his liking and a lot more
Hmm.
slower bowlers.
Yeah. The express pace and it's not as effective on Indian wickets. We saw that even with Riley Meredith in the IPL season that he played, he's taken for a lot of runs, so that could help him.
Yeah. So talking more about very heavily relying on Matthew Wade, every single time, right? So and he also
Mm,
seems to play a decent innings, but not
mm.
decent enough to get them out of trouble or to win the game.
Yeah, they've been conceding too many. That has been their problem.
Yeah. And you should probably have a word with Tim David, that you should try to play few more balls. With that strike rate, he's a game
Mm,
changer if he plays
mm.
himself to 30 deliveries like Wade does.
Yeah, it's frustrating. Maybe that's why they pushed him up the order yesterday. Usually it's Shadab Khan who bats at number four, but it was Tim David who came in earlier in that match, and it's frustrating to see him get run out after such a good start.
Yeah, I think it was Tim David just doing right. He spoke very highly about Shazab
Mm-hmm.
Khan's batting prowess, and then they
Yeah,
promoted him up the order, and he had to lose out on batting in that position for the first 3 4 games.
yeah,
And except for that one game when Asif Ali played that blinder, he's been a kind of very inconsistent performer otherwise.
yeah. Asif Ali needs to get a bowling attack that cannot bounce him out. I think that is something that he got against Sydney Sixers. We discussed this with Josh Brown as well. Sixers do not have a high-end pace bowler, so that makes it easy for players like Asif Ali to go after them.
Also, a pitch like Hobart probably would
Mm,
come at a pace Asif Ali prefers after it bounces.
yeah, short square boundaries definitely help them.
Yeah. So now looking at the performance of Adelaide strikers in the last game, they lost to Melbourne.
Mm,
So again, very heavily relying on the bowling capability of Rashid Khan, but he's not been delivering. He except for
This
the
game, the
first game, he picked up
Stones.
3 wickets. I think that he hardly picked up any more wickets.
The Steiner teams are also being very clever against him. They're not taking any chances at all. It's just playing him out, and unless he bowls a ball that can beat batters and defense, it has been difficult for him to get batters out. And today against Hobart is a team that has played him well traditionally. Darcy Short, Wade all have a good record against him in Australia, and even in general, McDermott and Shadab Khan, Tim David are all good players of spin bowling. So it's not going to be easy for Rashid Khan to get any wickets today.
Yeah. Also, I think the batsmen straight away, when they see him floating, they put their right
Mm,
foot, across the offside and try to take him standing deep. Try to take him in the forward defense rather than play him on the back foot. Is when he'll get more LPWs and the ball spins. Right? They don't want.
yeah.
I think that's been a strategy to kind of defend him like that. Probably nudge him for a single. He does not go for many runs though, but he goes wicketless.
True.
So Stein has played a blinder. Finally, he came good in the game against Adelaide Strikers.
Yeah. Yeah. To see him smash Taunton that way was phenomenal.
Yeah, finally the rig thing came together. Faf also played better in the last game. But
True.
both of them leaving soon.
Faf and Rashid Khan, you mean? Yeah.
And
I
Stein is
think
as well.
Stan stays with Stars, but
Yeah,
Faf is leaving for the South African T20, and Rashid Khan is leaving for one of these two tournaments. Too. I think it's
yeah.
SA T20, I guess, or ILT20, one of these two tournaments.
I mean, Adelaide Strikers, they have not played a season without Rashid Khan in the last 5, 6 years.
Hmm. Even if he's in fully available for some of these, they've always had him, even if it is for 10 games or
Correct.
8 games. Hmm.
So who usually replaces him?
I think Rashid Khan will be replaced by Cameron Boyce,
Hmm.
Former Australian international leg spinner. So when he leaves, Cameron Boyce will naturally slot in to the 11.
Yeah. So could be one of those innings. Chris Lynn comes together and performs a big one like Stoinis did.
Which one for McDermott? You mean, or
You think for Chris Lynn,
should he have?
the
I
chances of
mean,
him getting a big one today?
if he could somehow get through the spin duo of Shadab Khan and Paddy Dooley, there are a lot of favorable matches for him today.
Interesting. So let's look at the team sheets, the recent performances. Darcy Shart
And
has come out short in this tournament so far.
yeah, even in matches where he could have done well. I mean, the matchups favored him. He hasn't delivered a lot. It's been a terrible tournament for him, and his bowling value has also reduced with Hobart Hurricanes already playing two wrist spinners.
Yeah, lots on Wade's shoulders.
I'm
They are
hearing
big
Adelaide
innings.
have won the toss
Mm-hmm.
and have elected to bat first, and there's apparently a rain threat for this game today as well. Rain threat for this
Interesting.
game. Yeah.
Apparently, it gets a lot of storms because it's by the Gulf of Tasmania and Australia. Yeah, let's go back to the sheet. Yeah, we spoke about how Shadab Khan's promotion hasn't really worked. Asif Ali hasn't delivered. But finally, Tim David has come up the order and played more deliveries in the last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think about Ben McDermott coming back with Darcy Short. You think Tim David could face a lot of deliveries today? Are there any matchups for Darcy Short and Ben McDermott today?
I think for Darcy Shot, it's Henry Johnson and Matt Shots off spin. And for McDermott, it's basically the struggle for him will be against Rashid Khan. He'll be his biggest threat, although he's in general a decent player of spin bowling. Rashid is a different kettle of fish altogether. So that's going to be a little bit more difficult for him. And he also needs to be careful against Henry Taunton.
Yeah, especially this pitch, right, you could see a prospect of Rashid opening, since if he bowls during those defensive part of the game, if
Mm,
it
mm,
unlikely he gets wickets, maybe you should
mm.
play more during the initial 4 overs and the power ups.
Be a bit more versatile to maybe try an over up front, but delay him, bowl a couple of overs after the 16th over when batters are trying to go after him. So that will give him a few wickets. That could change the way his season has gone so far.
Yeah. So let's go back to the team sheets now to the Adelaide strikers.
Oh,
So
big news.
yeah,
Shadab Khan is out.
Sharaf Khan is out. Okay,
Apparently, he's injured, and yeah,
still not come out here as yet. And I don't think that he's going to be greatly missed as well, because except for the brilliant catch he took of his own bowling.
okay,
Uh,
interesting. Taunton is out as well. Big changes. Wow.
so, interesting. Why would they leave Thornton out?
I think maybe some kind of injury management or something, or
Yeah,
maybe they're resting him. He's had three expensive games, but
most likely would be the case. All right. So since the toss is out, do you want to quickly talk about the match notes and then go into the fantasy 11?
I think we'll need to go straight to changing the fantasy 11 because of the changes that have come. Maybe it needs a lot more looking into. I'll
Okay.
just.
So let me share this with you
Hmm,
so that you can go ahead and make the changes.
yeah.
So you have to replace Thornton, you have to replace Shazad Khan. As you get access to this, let me see whether I'm able to see the 11 on Quick Buzz.
Hmm, yeah. Got
Backflip.
access to it.
Yeah, you got access
Right.
for it. Great. There you go. Lot of changes, huh?
I think the first major impact will be on Dashi's shot, I believe, because with with Shadab Khan out, they need a second spinner, and that's where Dash shot could come into play along with his opening. His fantasy potential increases now because Mitchell Owen is the only other fifth bowling option they have. Meredith, 3 and 4. They've dropped Joel Paris as well. So 3, 4, 5. Yeah, definitely. Dash shot's bowling potential increases. The next question is how are we going to replace Wesagar? So the decision that we have to take now is between Nathan Ellis Thompson, bowler H, and this has to be
Ethan Ellis, I like it. He picked up 4 wickets in the last game. Finally.
uh, Darcy shot as a differential.
Yeah, Darcy shot is a good and really interesting call on that on the basis he
Mm,
could bowl,
yeah,
especially if somebody has to bowl Shadab Khan's overs.
mm, yeah. Shrab Khan and oh, this is same. This is set Wade McDermott. Okay, good as well. And this is the last spot that we need to decide. The contenders for this spot are Vesagar and Rashid Khan. And who bowls second? Both bowl second. So that's another problem. Hmm. Okay, I think I'm going with Rashid Khan. They are defending, and if Adelaide, this deck also favors teams that bat first. So in case Adelaide put up a big score,
Yeah,
Rashid Khan could come into play. Teams will have no option but to go after them, and that could work in our favor. So that's it. And so now we'll have to select captain and vice captain. I think I'll
you'll
be
be
going
surprised
in
if
with.
they score more than the past score today. If it's got a
Mm,
rain threat,
mm, mm,
especially.
mm. True. I think I'll be going in with Wade as my captain and Ben McDonald. Lynn.
Wait for the batting and catches behind the wicket.
Yeah.
The wicket keeper batsman.
Mm, interesting call. I think I'll go with Meredith as my VC.
Riley Meredith, yeah, he's
Mm,
been performing pretty consistently with his
yeah.
bowling. Fantastic fast bowler.
Yeah. I think the our pre-season
This
group
is
is
okay.
like we've been getting a lot of messages after the changes. I'll just type it out and send them the 11.
Sure. So in the meantime, I would go through FanX.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, just for
I
our
think we can
viewers.
finish Fanex. We can finish Fanex 2 first. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just for our viewers, FanX is an app that's available on fanx.in.
Mm,
Download the app, you get 500 free coins,
yeah.
and you can enter the first contest free of cost. It's the 10,000 rupee contest. That's for
Mm,
the first T20 between India and Sri Lanka tomorrow at Bankeday. So you just
much
have
better
to
than
uh,
free to enter and
join the
5,000 for the
contest.
first. Yeah.
Yeah. So 5,000 rupees for the first prize winner, and then you just have to pick the batter would hit the max number of sixes, number of
Mm,
runs, and wicket.
yeah.
So Al has already made his choices. So Al, do you want to talk to the viewers through the choices you already made?
Yeah. I think I have 6 runs. I had was that okay for the India Sri Lanka match. I haven't yet made a complete research. I just entered the contest, so we'll
Got
be
it.
finalizing our picks ahead of tomorrow's. In the tomorrow show, we'll be able to finalize this.
Fair enough. So, like I said, I've already inside the contest. So, if you want to pick, Hardik Pandya,
Mm,
the best thing is that if you watch Al show, so Al will pick his 3 players, the one
mm,
he thinks would likely to score maximum sixes, score maximum number of runs, take maximum number of wickets based on his insights and match analysis.
Yeah, the key thing that we need to
But
keep
I'm
in
just
mind for
going to show an example.
tomorrow's game is
Mhm.
that there's going to be a lot of runs in play, and the wickets are mainly going to come in the first 6 overs. So pace bowlers and big hitters. That's where
Yeah.
the game is tomorrow.
So you want to pick a number 4, 5 batsman like a Sky Pandya to score more runs. The early wickets could fall and cheap.
Yeah.
So let's say that we make a Hardik Pandya would score the max number of sixers, and let's say Surya Kumar Yadav will score maximum number of runs. We'll again go through these, picks tomorrow with the ones that Al comes up with. These are just examples.
Yeah.
And wickets, right? Umran Malik is a good choice, right? So he bowls up
Yeah.
front,
I'd love to
and
see him ball at Wankhede. I think he once did it against Mumbai, and it was fantastic. I guess if I recall correctly, space
yeah.
was brutal on Mumbai.
And I was just earlier today watching him bowling bounces hurting Hardik Pandya, so it would be interesting to see Umran Malik unleashing his 150 plus.
Yeah.
Each team needs a bowler at that pace. Each team needs a left arm bowler. Seeing the kind of bowling composition we've been seeing in BBL, and who brings up, comes up with wickets at crucial moments of play. It's extra space, during any time during the play, yeah, and left arm plays usually early up. So that's it. You join the contest. You could go back and make the changes till the time the match actually starts. So in today's
Well,
game, we have a different contest. Yeah, Al.
yeah. No, go ahead. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. So today's contest is very fun contest to join. Total prize pool is 5,000 coins. So it just costs you 50 coins to enter. Yeah, 50 coins to enter, I think. Uh, and you pick the sixers, half centuries, and wickets. Half centuries. That's an interesting one. So here is the prize payout. The winner gets 750, but there are up to 17 winners for a contest which can have only 75 entrants. That's a high win percentage.
Yeah.
It's a fun contest to join to win some coins,
Uh,
and you could win as much as 750 coins. So I'll just talk us through your picks: 6 runs, half century, and wickets, please.
yeah. Just a second. I'll open my app first and.
I can look it up for you. Sixers, you picked up Matthew Wade.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stick to Matthew Wade because McDermott, I'm not sure what kind of form he's in, and although he showed signs, we cannot rely on him. And Darcy Shot is Darcy Shot, so Wade is the safest pick for the number of sixes today. Maybe Lynn also comes into play more now because Hobart have one less spinner. We just have Paddy Dooley, which is a lot easier to escape than Paddy Dooley and Shadab Khan. So Lynn will be a good differential today. So that's one thing. And then half century, I
And
think.
also the square boundaries are short. Matthew Wade hits those square boundaries. He does not hit those longer and longer boundaries
Yeah,
much.
and he also tries behind the square as well. So it's a
Yeah,
difficult batter to deal with. Again, half century. I'm going with Matthew Wade again. So it's basically all in on
yeah.
him. On bowling, I think I've already had it at Riley Meredith. He's also my vice captain in daily fantasy team. So Kane Meredith. His pace and bounce is really difficult to handle in on a deck like this. And there are a lot of Adelaide strikers batters who struggle against raw
Just
pace.
in tomorrow's contest is the and Al will talk us through his picks for the India Sri Lanka game tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be for sure because the game starts early. So just please follow his Twitter handle. He will make his recommendations there.
Yeah.
So great, Al. So that brings us to the end of the show. I'm sorry. Maybe was I not sharing my screen before when I was showing the Fanex screens?
I think you did. You did. Yeah.
Okay, great. So I didn't see it in Melon app now. So that's it for today's show. Thank you so much for your presence, Al, and this was great insights talking to you and actually seeing you make the real-time edits. Really gives
Yeah,
us an insight into how your brain thinks, right?
yeah.
So
I think
so
this
that
is the
was really
craziest day we
interesting.
have had in 2 months of association. Live editing, so many big name changes.
So that was interesting to watch. So to get all Al, you need to go now for your to give the insights to your covers of subscribers. So talk to us
Yeah.
quickly a little bit about how I, as a fantasy player or a betting player, benefit from subscribing to covers off on the preseason app.
Uh, I think we have just started completely revamping how fantasy cricket in generally is generally covered in India, because the stats that the other websites uses, what the mainstream uses, that's something we have completely done away with, because that's not helping me as a fantasy player, as a pro fantasy gamer. I was a seasoned fantasy player. I am still a seasoned fantasy player. For me to jump into daily fantasy, or as even I improve my skill set as a seasoned fantasy player, I needed a completely different set of stats. That's what we are doing with covers of. When I wasn't getting it any from anyone. It has been 3 years since I was looking for someone to do it. No one did it, so there is no other option. We have when no one is giving you what you want, yet the only option that you have is do it yourself. And I saw an opportunity where we could convert it into a business. But there are a lot more fantasy players who want this, and maybe even do not know that the fantasy could be done this way. That's what our subscribers are learning. When they started, their expectations were different. Why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing this way? This website is doing, that website is doing. In 20 days, and they have realized that this is the best way to cover fantasy cricket. And we are really looking at this year. 2023 is a year that the rest of the websites are going to follow the way that we are covering fantasy cricket. We have already said it, and people are realizing that this is a lot more effective and this is a lot more systemic. And there is a method to the way that we give our teams, we make our predictions and everything. And that is what resulted in us getting 750 subscribers without going. It's organically, it has happened. We have not promoted it. Our subscription is close to at 1.75L now without opening yearly subscriptions. And the registrations, if we open it, we'll easily hit 5 lakhs in no time. And then it will be 10 lakhs in the next month, February. So that's what you're expecting. That's how good the response has been. So that's the impact of covers off in the 1 month it has been.
That's really good to note, and yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
And also yesterday for a crazy game and Brown and McSweeney, went
Mm.
bonkers. Your subscribers still won money yesterday.
Yeah, that's the benefit of winning through systems and not through blind picks or random picks. We have a system through which, when even if when random things happen, like it happened yesterday, we still had enough insurance around our 11 where there were players that others hadn't picked. We had dropped Monroe, for example. We had dropped Felipe, for example. All of these worked in our favor where we had different players than others, and even without having McSweeney and Brown. I myself won a big league today, a 25, 30 member league. So that says a lot.
Yeah, for wants to interested to know about how bankroll management, how to plan playing, season fantasy, daily fantasy. Please follow Al on YouTube channel. He shows very clearly how he takes a master class there.
I'm not sure where the problem is, whether at my end or your end, but it's breaking.
I think I'm having
Mm,
some
mm, mm.
streaming issue due to my internet. So I
Oh,
was saying that to know the
mm,
science behind it,
mm,
Al has master classes on his YouTube channel.
yeah. Us and the entire cause of team is contributing it, and it's also getting bigger now. We have so many more talented fantasy tippers coming into the covers of team as we speak, and it's going to get lot better in the days coming ahead.
So viewer, if you're not just interested in his daily picks, but if you want to know the process, the science, the hard work behind it, please follow Al on his YouTube channel. He takes a master class there.
Yeah.
Fascinating information. Thanks for sharing that. It's like software putting its code on open source.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. So
Sure,
thanks for
Con.
sharing, Al. As
Mm,
always, have a
mm,
fantastic day ahead,
mm.
and look forward to again talking to you tomorrow.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you, Con. Bye. Yep.
Bye, bye. I'll take care then. Bye.
Mm, mm.